Thank you so much. Do not neglect your fridge when it comes to spring cleaning. If you're like most folks, your refrigerator probably still has jars and bottles of foods from the winter holidays way back then. So what should you toss? Is there anything you can save? We've got food safety expert Dr. Kevin Murphy here to show us this morning. It is so good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm already embarrassed because we were talking during the commercial break. Everything here that he's saying that you need to toss, I have not tossed. So if I haven't tossed it, I know our audience likely hasn't tossed it either. So let's start off with this. How in terms of things like salsas and olive oils and things that I keep forever pretty much.
Yeah, so what happens is typically with a lot of these products, you may like, I was embarrassed. I went to our jams, our fruit jams, and I started opening them up, and I had 2 jams in there that had mold growing on it because, you know, you open them up, oh, this is not nice.
Because you only use a little bit of it.
You got a little bit, this is a new jam, I want to try it out, but you put it back away, 3 months later it's got mold growing on it, so you have to be careful of that. Tomato sauce, you may open it up, use only a half a jar, put it away, you don't feel like this tomato sauce. 3 months later, mold on it. So you have to be careful. Salsa, another thing. Had a party, Super Bowl party, only used half the jar. Once again, you get mold on it. These are the types of things. Nuts.
I don't think that lasts forever.
No, nuts go rancid. They have oils in it. It's the same problem with other oils. So actually, if you put oils, nut oils or olive oil into a refrigerator, it helps prolong the shelf life of it, but it's going to go bad because nuts have oils in them, and then oil will go rancid. So you have to, even in the refrigerator, do not last forever. Dairy products, that sour cream that we opened up and used only a little bit, that cranberry sauce that we opened up and only used a little bit of it a few months ago, sitting there in the can, it's gone bad.
All right, let me ask you this, because it'll say used by April 17th. What if it's April 21st? Can I still use it? Because I do. So tell me I can't.
Yeah, so everything is time sensitive, and it's also dependent upon when you opened it up.
Okay, all
right.
If
it's not open, definitely a week or 2 on a dairy product will be good, but you got to open it up and smell it. If it's been sitting on the counter for 5 hours and
sure, absolutely.
Right.
All right, so
another one here is broths. You know, we open up.
I love my broths.
Yes, yeah. You might only use a little bit of chicken broth. After 7 to 10 days, it's no good.
Okay, I'm glad you told me that. So that's good to know. So that's the stuff that we need to make sure that we throw out after a period of time. In terms of these kinds of things, I've got to tell you, my coffee, I love to keep my coffee in the refrigerator because I think it keeps my coffee fresher.
Sure. So this is the pile over here of things that you do not want to put in the refrigerator.
Really?
You do not want to put bananas in the refrigerator. They turn brown. Yeah. Okay, and another thing is bananas put off this gas called ethylene gas, which is called the ripening gas, and that affects other products that are in the refrigerator. So it'll affect your lettuces and stuff. It'll make them go turn bad. Tomatoes is another one. Tomatoes get mealy and mushy, and they lose their flavor in a refrigerator. Same with potatoes, onions, avocados.
I always put they last longer.
Yes, they do.
They do when you refrigerate them.
They do, but keep them out as long as you can on the counter, and then when they've gone ripe,
put them in the fridge
and eat them in a short period of time. Honey, another one. Honey will crystallize in the refrigerator. And coffee. This is the one that everybody thinks that they put my coffee in the freezer, refrigerator. The problem is that coffee will pick up flavors
from everything else.
I got you. It's very absorbent.
All right.
So that's why you don't want to put in the refrigerator.
Very quickly, got about 30 seconds left. These are our spices.
Spices, 3 to 6 months once they're open.
That's it?
That's it. That's it. They start losing their flavor. They start going bad. They're not going to make you sick, but they lose their flavor. They lose their strength.
So basically, when you spring clean, throw everything out and start from scratch. That's basically what you're telling us.
Spices, the problem is, you buy these spices, they're big and they don't. A couple other things I want to point out. 2 to 4 times a year, you should clean your refrigerator.
The whole thing.
With sanitizer and deodorant. Americans waste 40% of the food we buy. Buy less, buy it more often.
All right.
Keep your veggies and your fruits in separate crisper drawers because they give off different gases. And lastly, keep your refrigerator at 40 degrees.
That I do. So I've got half of it, right?
Particularly in the summer.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming by and giving us this great information, Dr. Kevin Murphy. You gave us some wonderful tips. All right.